Namaskar. Welcome to Honest Astrologer YouTube channel, and today I'm going to talk about a very important Shani placement, which is Shani in the ninth house, the justice warrior. Okay. Benjamin Disraeli once said, "Justice is truth in action," and these people are born with this motto. Okay. Now, what is the ninth house? Ninth house is, in my view, one of the most important houses in the chart. It is often called Dharma house. It is the house of philosophy, law, justice, father, and divine. Okay, and Shani impacts all these things. Now, Shani is the Lord of Justice. It is also called the Nyaya Adhikari. So he's at ease in the house of justice and spirituality, but he doesn't give an easy life to the native. He does give a lot of great legacy, but only one has fought his way through the house of Shani. Usually, such people are not very lucky. Their luck is a little slow, but they shine in a lot of things. So, let's talk about them. So, one, they have a grim philosophy. Remember, we look at the world through the lens of the ninth house. Ninth house is our philosophy, and Shani comes with very dark classes in the ninth house. They have the ability to look at the grim, dark reality of the world. Okay, they recognize and face the ugliness in it. They seek answers which the world often fails to give them. They are able to see through a lot of hypocrisies. Okay, the world bothers them, especially the injustice, and they have to go through a lot of fake people and fake gurus, and then they realize they'll have to fight this battle alone. They look at the beast in the world, and after a lot of seeking, realize that all is not well. Authorities cannot be trusted. It's a big bad world, and no savior is coming. They will have to fight for it, and finally, they look at the beast in the eye and they take up the sword of justice and fight for justice. One word which can describe these people is justice warriors. These guys live for justice, nyaya. They often make great judges and lawyers and would passionately fight to the bitter end if they are convinced that their client is innocent. Usually, if the client is on the wrong side, these people will refuse to take his case. And even in civil capacity, these people are respected and trusted most of their friends and co-workers, and are usually called to settle disputes and mediate between people. They can be as neutral as Switzerland. They can give a judgment against their own best friend and give a ruling in favor of a complete stranger. They also hold themselves up to a higher moral standards, and whenever they are wrong, they would be the first one to admit and even punish themselves. So usually they are successful at delivering justice, but it often happens once they have refined their ninth house. Their biggest challenge is daddy issues. Okay. So Shani in the fourth gives mummy issues, Shani in the ninth gives daddy issues, and in some cases issues with teachers. So these natives have a typical slavish devotion of Shani, and they are slavishly devoted towards their father. They love and adore their father and are willing to make all kind of sacrifices for the sake of father's approval. And as good old Shani, they don't get that approval. So their cross is kept in the father's house, and they are often willing to crucify themselves in order to seek father's approval. However, just like Shani does, they don't get the father's approval. Some other sibling is the father's favorite, who is often favored at the cost of the native. And like all things Shani, they have to battle their way out of this situation. If they want to realize their full potential, they'll have to stand up to their father one day. They would have to rebel against their father one day, and it's a very stormy, bloody battle. It can end up with the father accepting that he was in the wrong, or it can end with them cutting all ties with the father. But it usually ends in a cold, distant manner, which can leave the native scarred. However, throughout the childhood and early youth, they keep taking one challenge after the other for the sake of father's approval. It's typically around the age of 36 that they rebel against the father. And being at the receiving end of injustice by the father, that sows the seed of justice warrior that they become later in life. I must add that unlike Shani in the fourth, where one struggles with the mother and often fails to break the prison of Shani, ninth house Shani is usually successful and eventually breaks through, and Shani, the lord of justice, is triumphant in the end. And this thing is much more applicable to male natives. Female natives don't have it that bad, but male natives, they have it very bad with the father. Another thing that Shani gives here is the battle against authority. They realize, okay, in this world there's a lot of injustice, and those in power, those in authority often exploit those which are below them. So this crusade for justice puts them in loggerheads with the powers that be. They are instinctively distrustful of any kind of authority, right from the government to bosses to teachers to anybody, and they are the first to point out that the king has no clothes. They would usually fight their boss for the sake of junior, fight their wife for the sake of maid, or fight the system for the common man. They usually get into some sort of social service and at times end up taking the high and mighty. These are the guys who are bothered by the injustice in the world. They would sign petitions, file public interest litigations, and if possible, they would even agitate on the roads. But most of the times, they are able to make some positive difference in the world. Another very important aspect of Shani in the ninth is that they are also spiritual warriors. Now, this thing comes with a very complex spiritual outlook. Unlike Rahu in the ninth, which openly declare, okay, I don't believe in God, I'm an atheist, Shani in the ninth is very logical. He would say, look, I'm an agnostic. I don't know if there is a God. I want to know if there is a God. But so far, I don't have any experience. The thing about these people is that they are seekers. Okay. They keep seeking if there is a God. They go from one place of worship to other, one fake guru to other, one meditation technique to other. And one day, when the time comes, they are often blessed by Shani. They often have a direct taste of the divine, which is very rare in any other placement. And they are blessed by some unorthodox deity, particularly Ma Kali. For example, Ramakrishna Paramhans had ninth house Shani, the greatest devotee of Ma Kali ever. He did not get a lot of love or happiness from his father, but the mother of the universe became his mother. So at a spiritual level, this is a very good placement. So you might have problems with the father, but the mother of the universe might adopt you. So overall, I think this is a good placement in terms of legacy, spiritual achievement, and making a positive contribution in the society. So they are usually very sensible and grounded people. In their later years, they become the wise old men. Once done with their worldly duties, they shun the public spotlight and retire to a hermit-like life of spirituality, reading, learning, meditation, occult, all that. However, there is one thing which can again bring them back to the world, and that is any kind of injustice. In that case, they will come out of their hermitage and will don their justice warrior battle gear and fight for the little guy. Okay. Nyay ki jai ho, dharm ki jai ho, adharm ka nash ho. That's their motto. But if left to themselves, they would immerse themselves in their spiritual practices, particularly worshipping Ma Kali. Jai Ma.